Hi again. Hi again. It's Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian, Psychic Cynthia, and welcome back. We're back here again on the lower chakra system, and welcome back to your level 1 psychic awakening, awakening your inner psychic series. Okay. So we're still working in the chakras. That's such a huge part about awakening your inner psychic and your whole total psychic awakening. And today we're focusing on orange. Okay. See my beautiful pumpkin. We've just gotten past the harvest time. I love this beautiful pumpkin. It's got such a nice energy. Pumpkin's one of my favorite flower essences for awakening abundance and creativity, as an aside note. But getting back to the lower chakra system, orange is the color of your sacral chakra, which is a couple of inches below your belly button usually. Remember, it comes from the back to the front. So think about the place on your spine that would be level with a couple of inches below your belly button. And it's my experience of energy that the chakras don't actually, they're not embedded in the spine. In other words, they do lie along the spine, but they actually start, in most people, a little bit beyond the spine, so outside of the spine, and then move back. But of course, it's different for each person. And, if you wanted to have a little bit of fun with it and sort of explore, you could try sticking your hand back there, like where your sacral is, and sort of pulling it away from your spine and see how far back you can go before you don't feel the sacral chakra anymore on the back side, basically. So that's a little extra fun thing you can do. But tonight we're just doing the foundational of the solar plexus chakra, or excuse me, the sacral. I hope I didn't say the solar plexus all times, because we're talking about the sacral. Okay, sacral. And the sacral is also known as the sexual chakra or the spleen chakra, which I think is really interesting, because when I think about like the color energy, I think of red, to me at least, as being a much more sexual color than orange. And so I really do think that the root chakra, myself, I experience that as being a more sexual chakra. But then this sacral chakra, is very creative, like the pumpkin, right? The pumpkin plant has many pumpkins, and there is the tie-in with their seed of creativity. So certainly the sacral chakra is related to our womb area and, the whole reproductive system. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the root chakra myself, I feel like it's more of our sexuality. But if you think of sexuality in terms of procreation or creativity, definitely the sacral or spleen chakra is connected to that. So some things to think about. And as I said, its color is orange, very orange, all the shades of orange. I showed you some brown earlier. It has some brown and red in it, but brown, not red brown, okay, but just brown. Brown is related to orange. Now, I don't know that I'd want to visualize my sacral chakra as being brown, but I think it's okay if you see some beautiful brown hues in there too. So, next year or wherever this comes around for you next time, when you're in the fall season for you and you're outside walking and the deciduous trees are losing their leaves and you see all the beautiful browns, then you can think of how that is in the energies in your own sacral chakra. By the way, fall is a very lower chakra season if you think of the colors, because you have your reds, your browns, your oranges, and your yellows. So one of the things you can do to attune with the entire lower chakra system and to strengthen it is to go outside and walk on a fall day when the leaves have fallen down. Try to get your feet kicking around in them and touch them. Maybe even roll around them if it's safe and clean. Experience those color energies on the outside. All right. So let's just take another deep breath in and get that spine aligned. So I think you're starting to get the idea now, but if you're going to strengthen this sacral chakra, you'll want to visualize the color orange. And you can start by seeing the little ball or the wheel, the spinning wheel. You can see that on that area in your body. Start in the front if that's easier, but then eventually you want to visualize from the back to the front because that's typically how the energy flows. And also let that surround you. And then you'll be working with the sacral. You can wear orange. You can have orange flowers around you. The idea, though, with the sacral is you're accessing your creativity. And also, the creativity is linked in with your abundance and, to some extent, your ability to manifest and attract what you need in this world to be happy and comfortable. Whereas the root chakra has to do more with survival, just getting by. You bring the energy up into the orange and into the sacral, and then we're looking at abundance. So if these are issues for you, and they are issues for many psychics, I will say, work in those lower chakras, especially the root and the sacral, which we're speaking of now, and direct light energy into them. Another thing, and I don't know if I touched on this earlier, I want to touch on it now. So with any of the chakras, not only can you visualize the color that is associated with it, and that will strengthen it, but you can also simply send light, like a pure white light or a golden white light. You can just imagine that you're sending light into that, or you can ask your angels and guides to send light. Especially if it feels blocked or heavy. There's just a sensation when you tune into it. Sometimes it helps to put your hand on the front side on your body where that chakra is quote unquote located, and then just sort of see what you feel there. You can do that now. Put your hand about 2 inches below your belly button on your belly. And just take a few nice deep breaths in. Close your eyes if you'd like. What's that feel like in that gut feeling? What's it feel like? Is it warm and cozy and comfortable, relaxed? Or is there churning there? Does it feel uncomfortable, tightly knit, coiling in on itself? That's not what you want to feel, okay? That doesn't feel good. Plus, that's an indicator that this might need some light in there. So just tune into that and see what you feel. And by the way, you can use either hand. I myself write with my right hand, but I am what they call biologically left-handed, which to simplify that means that I actually really am left-handed. I should have been trained to write with my left hand, but I wasn't. I didn't even know this, but you can do the clapping test if you want to know. So when I just clap, okay? Just clap. Don't think about it. So when I do that, and I've done it hundreds of times to test it, I instinctually have my left hand on top. So which hand goes on top for you? Just clap. Don't try to force it. If you want to, you can try. Like, this does not feel right to me. The right hand does not feel right, even though I write with it. So that's one way you can tell very quickly, biologically, how you're handed. So even though, I would say put your, you'd say your receptive hand is the one you don't write with. Well, is it? In my case, if I wanted to receive, maybe it is the right hand. I don't know. From practice, I still use the left hand. Don't overthink that. But, if one hand feels better than the other, by all means, use that one. Okay. Some people say you have to use the left or the right. I don't think that's true. Not in my experience or observation. So just tuning in. And you can tap on the chakras. It's not so easy to tap on your tailbone, but I guess you can. You can do that for your root. I'm more like kind of slapping it gently, just a little bit. But here you could tap. Okay, this is what I'm doing, but I'm doing it down lower. And that kind of feels good. Don't hurt yourself, okay? That's not the idea. So that's another thing you can do to awaken that lower chakra system. You actually could just tap up and down your whole belly up to the middle right there. Don't go into the heart or this part. We're just doing the lower chakra system right now. And that's a nice practice to get into. No, I'm not an EFT practitioner. If you are, that's wonderful. I'm psychic. I just follow my intuition. And if my hand says that it needs to tap there, then I'm going to do that. And I think that's what you should do too. And if you want to learn some system of tapping, you could do that. But that's outside of these videos, by the way. Okay. So that is your sacral, which we're familiarizing your energy with. And basically you want to have that open so your creativity and your abundance and the energy flows well. And by the way, the energy's flowing up. Don't miss that point, okay? The energy's flowing up. If you want to get up into these higher chakras and awaken, you've got to activate at the root and go through the sacral, through the solar plexus, through the heart, up to the throat, up to the third eye, and up to the crown. It has to be open in all the chakras from the root upward. If there's a block anywhere, that's going to at least somewhat restrict or impair your psychic development and awakening. So if you're wondering, like, why should I care about these other chakras? Well, you better, it's like an artery. I mean, if you have blood cut off down at the bottom and it has to push up, I mean, how's it going to do that? It's not going to do it very effectively. So yes, please do send energy and light. And how often do you do this? I mean, I'd like to see you do it every day for a time. You don't have to do it every day the rest of your life, okay? But maybe at least once or twice a week, check in with your chakras. And you could just do a chakra, sometimes. I mean, I think in the beginning, it's good to work with all of them if you can, or to work in these subsystems. Like right now, we're working in the subsystem of the lower chakras. So that's perfectly cool. And we'll talk about some other ways you can work them together, such as you can you can activate your root and your crown together and kind of just run all the energy up at once. And that's a quick shortcut. So we'll do that later, okay? Right now we're getting familiarized with the lower chakras. The solar plexus chakra is here, and we're going to talk about that in the next video. Actually, it's a little lower. Yes, I got a lemon to represent the solar plexus chakra because it's yellow, okay? So we'll talk about that in the next video, but do awaken the creative energies in the sacral chakra. Happy adventuring and happy creating, and much more cheerfulness and positivity. Until next time.